Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again, thank you for stopping by. So, it's the next instalment of my Tamiya Terra Scorcher. I've been desperate to make this video because after this, it allows me to run it. So the whole point of this is, I bought this car off my friend Martin in the UK. It's almost brand new. It's got the front and back hinge pins fitted to the arms. It's got an alloy A5 part. It's obviously fully ball raced, comes like that. And I fitted high cap shocks to it, and obviously vintage gold wheels, as you can see. I painted the driver up, so I got the car finished, and with a view, this is going to be my run. And now it's not something I'm going to run all the time, but with all the cars I've got, I don't have anything that I can just grab, charge a battery and run. So I'm going to do a couple of cars, and this is the first one I'm doing. We've got the old school radio, which I bought off Martin as well, which was awesome. We've got a motor to try, which came in a TT01, which I'll show you as we go. And we've got a prop shaft and cup upgrade as well to do on it. So yeah, in this video, we'll be doing the prop shaft upgrade. We'll be getting all the electronics in it, seeing what this motor's like. I've got some old tyres that look new, but they're old. I've got the old white wheels to put on it. So hopefully at the end of this video, we'll charge the battery up and we'll have this thing ready to run. And then videos to come, I'll at least do one running video of it. But again, it's not so much for the channel, it's more for me. You know, those days when we're feeling a little bit down and we can't be bothered with stuff, then there's nothing really better than going ragging a car around a car park or on the gravel or wherever you are. So that's the plan anyway. So yeah, I'll show you all this close up as we go. But yeah, let's get started. Right, so obviously the first thing I'm going to start with is doing the prop shaft and cup upgrade. So first of all, a massive shout out to Ken on the Tamiya Legends group. He was the guy who posted he'd just done it on his car. Obviously other people have done it before, but I'm not saying that. But yeah, Ken's was the one I saw. So it's a bog standard alloy TT02 prop shaft. Show you that for the part number. Well, that's zooming in. So a little bit of bling as well, but obviously it's more functional. And in order to fit that, you need the Tamiya Hot Shot, what do we call them? Prop shaft cups. Now I'll put a picture up now of the part number for those. I got both these from Tony's Tamiya parts. But I imagine after Ken posted on the Tamiya Legends group, any stock has now gone, but that was a while ago. So I believe we need an O-ring either side into the cup, just take a little bit of slack up, and I think there's a little bit of filing needed somewhere. But again, you'll see this as I do as we're doing it. Yeah, so let's start stripping the car down. Right, so we're at this stage, and obviously I'm just wanting to show you the existing prop shaft. It's just a sort of wire one. So this is a true upgrade because there's a lot of bend and flex in these. Now these are great, there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. It's a little bit like the one in the Manta Ray. When you sort of rev it and give it full power while it's off the ground, these things can sort of jump and look like they're not going to be any good. But when they're actually, if the car's planted on the surface, the road or whatever, these are absolutely fine. But nevertheless, given it, there's going to be a little bit of twist in there. So obviously this is going to eradicate that and just make it a little bit more efficient. So it is a true hop up. Right, so that's the front gearbox out, side cover off. Obviously it's this bit we need. Just to give you an idea, if you don't know, that's the prop shaft cup for the kit. So it's completely different, and it has got the serration for the large circlip, whereas the new, or the top fork, bloody hell, hot shot one doesn't. So that's what it looks like. But when it's actually in place, that's how it looks. I'll just re-grease that bevel gear as well. So the prop shaft, there's nothing on the front end for the prop shaft to impede. So that's why I've started on this. I'll put the red O-ring in this cup now. And then we'll drop the rear gearbox out and do the same. Right, so I've just kind of mocked it up, just sort of finger tightened the gearbox screws because I just wanted to see what needs doing now. So no O-rings in here at the moment, but just to give you an idea with the gearboxes in place, that's the movement you've got without O-rings, so obviously that needs taking up. Now, interestingly, there's two spaces that just need a little bit of filing. So there's this brace plastic mould in the chassis. It just wants a little bit of filing underneath that, and just the same at the back. Now, with that said, it spins, but I'm just going to take those down a little bit. So I'll do those two areas. I'll then fit the O-rings, and then I'll come back and we'll see what the difference is. I've also taken the motor out because obviously with a view to run this, so I thought it'd just be easier so we could actually feel the overall drive with the motor not in position, if that makes sense. So obviously I've just done the upgrade. Front gearbox is fine, but I've got the motor out now because I want to make sure this drivetrain's free. But this noise, that's coming from the back gearbox. Right, so all I've done is I've just taken the prop shaft out. So if I lift the back end up, listen to the front gearbox. Sounds absolutely sweet as a nut. But the rear sounds like there's something not quite square in there to me. Again, could be how it's supposed to be. Right, I want to double check what I've done, and just by taking that section out and see if that stops that noise. Right, so it's not the gearbox, because obviously I've taken the side cover off and the bevel. So if you hear the gearbox now, let me just lift that camera up slightly. That sounds absolutely perfect. So then I was thinking, is it something to do with this hop up? Has it pushed it too far? But no, it's not that. So the noise is coming from in here somewhere, which is interesting. Now, this could be a complete mistake what I'm doing, but in the housing it comes with a very narrow, let me show you, bush and like a big thick washer that goes on it. I'm not saying it's that, don't shout at me in the comments, but I've just replaced that with a bearing, and I'm just going to put it back together and see if it makes any difference. It probably won't, but I just want to try that first, and then we'll have a look at the gears, because that's the only other thing it can be. Right, I've got to the bottom of it. So obviously it had to be one or both these bevel gears. When I took this bevel out, so that wasn't turning, the gearbox was fine. I put it all back together, held the case on, did it, the noise was still there. So I looked at the edges of the bevels thinking it must be that, but no, they were perfect. What it actually was, there was a tiny little bit of flashing on this nylon here. I've never ever removed that before on any gears. The only usually you get your flashing on the edges from the parts tree, where you take the little sprue off. So I've done it on both, and well, I'll just build it back up and then you can hear it. Right. That's better. Much better. That's crazy. Never ever come across that before. Right then, so I've just mocked it back up again just for the final time for peace of mind. All you can hear now is the tyres. That is so much better. Well, that was a really interesting little detour that I didn't expect. But anyway, yeah, I just feel happy and knowing. I mean, it wouldn't have caused it would have wore in time on its own, so it's not like it was an issue as such. But anyway, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tighten the front gearbox up because that's in place. I'm going to take the rear gearbox back off because I'm going to swap over motors now, so I might as well do it. It'll just be a bit easier with the gearbox off. Right, so this is the motor I'm using. So obviously that's just a standard kit 540. I think it's got 15 tooth pinion on it. I will have to order a steel pinion. I should have done that ages ago because I'm obviously going to be running this a lot. But anyway, this is a motor that's going in, and I'd not planned this. This came in a TT01 car, a brand new one. So this motor's new. I've never seen this before. Hakamoto high airflow RC motor. Now it's a 15 turn. Obviously it's a sealed end. It's got a rotor on. Sorry, it's got a fan on the rotor. I don't know if you can see that. And looking at the com, this motor's brand new. So I'm curious. I'm really curious about this. No, I don't think it's going to be like lightning or anything, but it might be an ideal motor for this car. So I'm going to bang that in, because worst case scenario, once I come to run it, I'll give it a little test drive. If it's not that quick, then I'll change it and go with the motor I was planning. But I think for now, that's what we'll use. Right, so that's new motor mounted. I have just put a new pinion on. Again, it's a 15, so it's one that comes with the kit. I'm very intrigued by this motor, gotta be honest. Right, let's get what's next. So we'll get this in the rear gearbox, we'll mount the rear gearbox back in the car, and then we'll see what's after that. Right, we're going in the right direction at last. So the car's fully back together, all gearboxes are bolted down now, obviously the motor's in position. Now before I put the front bumper on, I need to sort the steering servo out and put the brackets in because they're out at the moment. So I'll dig a servo out and we'll zero it and then we'll get that fitted. Right, so we're getting there now. So obviously all the electrics are in, they're all wired up. It's pretty neat actually. Now the only issue I have is the receiver is supposed to go down here on its side, and obviously the speedo on top of the servo. Now because I'm going old school with an old 27 meg radio set with the crystal popping out here, it's too wide. So I've gone for this option, but I'm going to just give it a test drive and make sure, because from memory you're not supposed to put your receiver, especially the old school radio, you're not supposed to put your receiver near the servo because it can interfere, hence why it goes behind this little wall here. But I'll give it a test. That might have to change if I'm getting interference, but we will see. What else we've done? So bumper's back on. So yeah, I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll just give it a quick test. Right, so we've made some good progress now. So all the electrics are in, it's now wired up, and it's pretty neat. I like it. Now, only one problem, and that is because we're going old school, and this is a 27 meg radio gear, the receiver's supposed to go on its side down here. Now with the crystal popping out, it's too wide to fit down there. So what I've reversed it, so we've got the receiver on top of the steering servo and the speedo on its side. Now that could be an issue. I'm going to have to test this out, because with the old school radio gear you didn't want your receiver near the steering servo for interference, twitching and all that. So I've powered it up, it seems okay, but obviously we'll have to take it out and put some distance between it and just see if it's going to interfere. If it does, I'm going to have to redo this, possibly by putting that old plate on, like the original had for the manual mechanical speed controller. Anyway, right now we don't need to do that. So I'll just show you, we'll power it up. Look at this bad boy, that's what I'm running. Love it. Are you ready for the lights? Where is it? Boom! And then switch on. So we've got steering, decent-ish servo I've put in. It's relatively fast. Plenty for this car. And then this motor. Now, are you ready for this, guys? Obviously I had no idea. It says it's 15 turn, but it's sealed end bell, so I didn't have any clue. But listen to this. Could be wrong, but that seems like it's got a load of kick. I think that's going to go a bit, if I'm honest. Which is cool, because it means I don't have to change that motor again, which I didn't want to do. Right, last bits of the puzzle now. So because obviously we're using antenna, the car's not set up for that, so I've got to put a hole in here and then make sure this is all going to sit nice and flat. And then I also need to put a little hole down here somewhere on the shell to get the antenna poking through. And at the same time I want to make sure that this isn't going to impede the body. So I hate that, that's a big bugbear of mine. Or wires sticking out under the shell. Oh, it does my head in. So yeah, we're going to have to, I don't know what we'll do, but we'll figure that out. I've tucked the balance lead of the battery behind there, which is pretty good. But even if I have to take the battery leads around and back up this side, I don't know. Anyway, let's get the next stage done. Right, so obviously hole in there for the antenna. That's sort of sitting on as good as it does. And then with the batteries of the leads, I've just tucked it round there and then in, and then that sits down flat. which just put off, obviously, and put the hole in the body shell, so that sits over, tucks down, and just push it down with my thumb. But yeah, and that's battery's not impeding, which is awesome, and it doesn't look a dog, which we like. So the only other thing I need to do now is dig some wheels and tyres out, because I obviously don't want to run it with the gold wheels on or the new tyres. Right, so obviously I do have the original white kit wheels, so that's great. Now these are tyres I've been saving, they came off vintage cars. Now the tread is like new on all four of them, but they're that old. They're not perishing, so there's no cracks, but they are flat spotted. That's actually the worst one. So, plan is, I got these foams, no idea what I got them with, what they were for, and they're not for this tyre, but I'm going to see if I can bodge them in those tyres and get these wheels on, because that will certainly fix the flat spots, and then I'm golden. But whether I can do that or not, let's have a go. Right, that looks like it's going to be a goer. So I had these, I don't know where I got them from or what they were for, and that's one done. It's a lot of messing around to get that tyre in there with the foam in there, but yeah, that's great. So where's the flat spot? You can still see it, but in fact, where is it? Well, that shows you how good it is, because it's just across there. I don't know if you can see it. So that's actually coming out on its own. It's not going to fix, but it's going to be way better. It's going to make these very usable. Really tight fit to get them on the wheel as well, so I don't have to glue them. So that's awesome. So yeah, I'll do the other three and then we'll get them on the car, because that car's got a lot of extra weight in it now, and I bet my shock setup's way too soft. Probably have to put the collars back on and stuff. Anyway, let's get to that stage. Right, we are golden, and I can't tell you, I'm really excited about this. Yeah, this has been a lot of nostalgia for me doing this, just because it's kind of this is going to be my own car to run. I don't know, it just feels right. Shocks wise, I'm going to leave them my seam okay. So we got the fronts, we got the rears. Drop test. Looks absolutely cock on. Obviously that's the full weight of the car as well. Loving it. It feels great. And the tyres are all square, which I was a bit worried about because of the foams. But they're pretty much cock on. And yeah, it feels nice and feels great. Tell you what, let's put it on the stand and put some power through it and see what it all looks like finished. So, I should be coming on now saying, right, we're done. Oh, do you know what? This is just getting silly. So, the power's on now. That looks great. Got power. Obviously got plenty of kick. Now I'm just going to put this full aerial up on the transmitter there, and then I'm going to walk away literally about, what would you say, 6, 12, maybe about 14, 15 foot. Watch what happens. Right, I'm walking away now. Coming back. Oh, lovely. Oh dear. Right, what I need to do now, I need to just take the receiver out of its position off that servo and just put it to the back. Not mount it anyway, just move it to the back and see if I'm still going to have interference before I do anything else. Because if it's going to just have general interference anyway, then I'll just go change the radio gear. But I didn't want to do that. Anyway, let's give this a go. Oh well, that hasn't worked. I'm pretty gutted about that, you know. So obviously the receiver was here on top of the servo, so I've taken it off. slacken the antenna off so it can move it back. And even when it's right back over here, well, it's no better at all. Oh, it's such a shame. Such a shame. Oh, I'm gutted. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I can do, but there really isn't. It might not even be as bad outside, but it could be even worse. Right, I've got some good and I've got some bad news. Sorry, I'm out of breath just being outside. I just thought, you know what, sometimes interference is indoor more than outdoor, so I took it out. There's no interference outside, so I can use this radio gear, which is awesome. I had a tiny little blast with it. The motor is reasonably quick. It's okay. It's not mind-blowing, but I think to start with it's really good. But, big problem, Hobbywing 1060 going into limp mode very early on. That's so frustrating. That's the one I use in the TCL1 that was doing it all the time. I just can't be bothered with it. I do have another somewhere. Don't know where I'm looking for it now as we speak. Yeah, I've got another one here, which I did the capacitor mod on. But I'm getting a bit tired of them, to be honest. So I think what I'm going to do, I've got this really high-end Tekken, which is a brush motor speedo, and it's an unlimited motor. So I think I'm going to wire that up in position, and then once that's in, at least when I want to change motors and if I want to go a little bit quicker, it's going to be easier to do. Oh, bloody hell. This video is way longer than it was supposed to be, but I must admit, I'm kind of having fun. Right, let's rewire it. And also, that means we can... No, it doesn't. Receiver has to go in the same place. Right, massive change of plan. So, we've got the high-end speedo in for Tekken, wedged down there. I've done the setup process for it, so that's all working. So, I've also changed the motor, because obviously I have just ran this car, and I wanted it a little bit quicker. So, this is a brand new Orion SV brush motor, and I'm pretty sure it's a 13 triple. I'm pretty sure it is. So yeah, that should go better than the other one. Plus we've got this speedo which will be putting out max power. We'll have a look at that speedo later for boost and all that good stuff. But right now I've just done the quick start. So yeah, God, bit tight on the wires here. But yeah, I think we're going to be good. Right, let's get it built back up. Right, we're finally golden. Just taking it out for a very short blast. It's a lot quicker. It's super smooth with that triple motor. You can just feel the power delivery. It's so smooth. And that motor's only going to get quicker because it's brand new. So the brushes need wearing. So when we make the running video next, it'll get a little bit quicker. The suspension feels great. It dives under front when you're under braking. Love it. Absolutely love it. We're golden. And she's done. Do you know what? I've said it so many times, and it's not a YouTube thing, it's just an RC thing. What you think will be a relatively quick, easy job just turns into something else, doesn't it? I don't know why I get surprised every time it happens. I honestly don't. I honestly thought I made the intro to this video yesterday, so I could get straight onto it early this morning. I thought probably an hour, and you'll have a radio, you'll have everything done. I think it's late afternoon. Or very early afternoon anyway. Anyway, my friends, this thing runs well now, and I've not give it much past it at all. I was literally playing with it for about 40 seconds. Okay, a minute. Maybe a minute and a half. Maximum 2 minutes. Oh, it was awesome. It just, yes, that motor pulls like a train. 13 triple, and again, it's just, you can... It's funny, isn't it, with a wind, how you can feel it through the transmitter or pistol. Do you know what I mean? You can't literally feel it, but you kind of can when you're delivering the power in whichever way you're doing it. And yeah, that stood out straight away. It's pretty quick. Not lightning quick. It's quick for this car. I'd guess, well, I don't know actually. I'd guess you might be getting up to the high 20s, maybe just touch 30 mile an hour, which is quick for a car like this. And that's on 2S. So, yeah, very successful day, but a long day. So again, big shout out to Ken for informing me of this prop shaft and cups hop up. Awesome. Very happy with that. So yeah, what I'm going to do is, as soon as we get a break in the weather, because it's raining a lot, we'll get it out and we'll make a running video. We'll get it just on the tarmac again, just to make sure everything's, see how far we can take it, and then we'll get it on the gravel. That's what it was made for, wasn't it? Awesome, very happy. Right, I'll end this video here. This video is probably way longer than it should have been, so I apologise for that. So once again, thanks so much for watching. Really is appreciated. If this is the first time you've stumbled on one of my videos, if you could give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and what else do? We hit that notification bell for notifications of our weekly videos. I'm a happy bunny right now, and I'm very looking forward to running this. Anyway, my friends, happy RCing.